So a crazy thing I found out. I was talking to a friend. He was wearing a Wayland Industries or Wayland or whatever. I can't remember. It's Wayland something from Alien.
Oh, okay. I've only ever seen Prometheus, so I'm not going to be able to help you here.
Oh, what? Oh,
Yeah.
bro. Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, I was talking about the new show. I was like, "Oh, do you like the new show?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty good, you know." And I was talking to him about just like how influential the movie Aliens was to my childhood because like I remember seeing a scene from it when I was probably too young. I don't know. Well, I don't know if I was
Okay.
necessarily too young, but it was definitely the first scary thing I had ever seen.
Okay.
And I was like, I remember it changing me. Like
Oh,
I
yeah.
literally like I flipped the TV on in my parents' room when everyone was outside, you know, to kind of like watch TV while you know, sneak some TV in while
Yeah.
everyone was outside. Literally the scene where oh yeah, I mean you don't know about this,
I've
but
never seen it.
listeners will know about it. Where the aliens their sensors are going off and they're like, all right, they're about to come through the door, and they don't come through the door. No, nothing's coming through the door, and the sensors are going off, and they're like, what's going on? Like, they should be like 15 feet in front of us, 12 feet in front of us, 10 feet in front of us. And they like lift up one of the ceiling tiles, and like all the aliens are up in there, and they like, and they like come out, and it's like it's terrifying
Yeah. I mean, that sounds
because
scary.
of the noise.
Sounds can really do it with that kind of stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
yeah, they did a great James Cameron, amazing, did such a good job on this, and like I saw that when like that was probably the first memorable scary thing I had ever seen.
Okay.
I really didn't, you know, I've never been into scary stuff, you know, I'm not.
Yeah, I
And
do. Yeah.
so like that changed me forever. And so he was like, "Oh, did you know that like have you ever seen the director's cut?" I said, "No, like I'm pretty sure I just watched it." He's like, "Dude, there's like 35 minutes they took out of the movie because
Wow.
back then they were afraid of like, oh, you know, like people aren't going to be able to sit there for that long. So we need to make the
Yeah.
movie like an hour and a half. Right
Right.
now they make movies like
Oh
three and a
my
half
gosh.
hours long, you know?
That's for sure. For better or worse.
Yeah, I know. There's some movies out there that are just way too long. The second
Yeah.
Transformers movie, I think, is like 3 days long. It's like
It is.
ridiculous.
They get progressively longer. Like the Marky Mark
Do
ones
they
are like
really?
3.5 hours. Oh yeah.
Oh my
Oh yeah.
gosh, yeah.
Out of control.
Anyway, he told me that there's like 35 minutes, so he gave me the disc. And apparently there is a copy out there that has 35, 40
Wow.
extra minutes of the movie that's actually integrated to the story. And there's like times where he'd be like, "Oh yeah, remember this part?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, they did kind of like run into that room, like, you know, everyone was like on edge, but the scene before it really wasn't. It didn't really like coincide with that." And he's like, "Yeah, because there's this whole scene they cut out where they're like fighting them, and then they retreat to this room." And I was like, "Oh, well, that makes way more sense now." You're like, "Oh, that was kind of like why did the intensity all of a sudden ramp up from
Yeah.
like, you know, 40% to like 90%?" And so I'm really looking forward to watching that because I mean, it's been what, 30 years basically?
Yeah.
Like I'm literally going to watch a third of a movie I haven't seen. So it's
That's
going to be really,
exciting.
really cool. Yeah, it's like really exciting. It's like finding that there's like 40 minutes of Star Wars that like just never made it out there, and you're like,
Right.
I want to watch that now. You
Well,
know?
it's like when we watched the holiday special and there was that like little scene of Vader just like walking and we were like, What is this? Where did this
Yeah.
come from?" So it's
Yep.
exciting. It was Chucky for me. I watched
Chucky.
like flipping
Yeah.
through the channels or something, and it was Chucky, and I didn't know what I was looking at, and it's like a doll, you know. And it was like I remember somebody getting like stapled in the arm or something, and Chucky just like going wild, and it terrified me. My stepsister had a My Buddy doll, and it freaked me out basically forever.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I get it. I get it.
Yes. Welcome to This Endorian Life, a nostalgic podcast from the Radio Meanwhile Network. My name is Steve Rudd.
I'm Nick Gunning, and we're settling in for some vintage Saturday morning cartoons.
Ooh, yes, settle down. Today we are discussing The Dukes, Episode 1, Put Up Your Dukes. This episode originally aired on CBS February 5th, 1983. We We're not born
Oh,
yet.
you were not born yet.
Oh,
I
you were
was
born. That's right.
born.
That's right. Oh,
This,
you
I think
old
it's
man.
this is the first time this has happened. We're watching
Oh,
something that's within my lifetime, but you were not
but not
around yet.
mine.
So
Oh, well, you're such a geezer,
I
man.
know I
Oh,
should have. It was my responsibility to protect you from this.
oh, that's
As an
right.
older brother. You know what I
February.
mean? Yeah,
This
yeah,
came out like a month after you were born. Yeah, you were a month
that's
old.
true.
You were a month old.
Yeah, woo. And boy, it really left an impact on the
Was it as good
landscape of
then
pop
as it was
culture. Yeah,
now? Yeah, no,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Left such an
Okay,
impact.
well, this is based, of course, on the series The Dukes of Hazzard, which is just one of those iconic 70s, 80s shows that everybody knows, everybody loves the theme song. And so, it's a lot of car chases, it's a lot of driving over hills and, running from bad guys. Why not make a cartoon on it, I guess, was the question that was asked. The series ran for 2 seasons across 20 episodes, was released on DVD in 2010. It's hard to tell who exactly wrote this, but the main credited author was David R. Todman, and there were several others who were on the writing staff. Directed by Oscar Defoe. Pretty much everybody from the show reprised their roles, so that includes Byron
Yeah.
Cherry as Coy Duke, Christopher Mayer as Vance Duke, Catherine Bach as Daisy Duke, Denver Pyle as Uncle Jesse, James Best as Roscoe P. Coltrane, and Sorrel Book as Boss Hogg. So, if you're a Dukes of Hazzard fan, you might have noticed that we did not say Bo and Luke Duke, because this was during a time when, with contract disputes, Bo and Luke, so John Schneider and Tom Opat, written out of the series, and these stand-in cousins, Coy and Vance, came in. And so Coy and Vance are the stars of this animated series as well. And when the contract stuff was fixed, they came back to the animated series, and Coy and Vance disappeared just as they did from the actual show.
Really funny.
Interesting. Never to be seen again. Never
Yeah,
to be
right?
seen again. So
That is kind of funny. I did look because I was like, wait a minute.
yeah,
That is Coy and Vance. And I was like, I
yeah,
have to look. I have to look. And yeah, sure enough.
yeah.
It's
It's
funny.
funny.
It's funny how it works. Yeah.
I mean, listen, I feel bad for these guys
I
because
know. Yeah.
they're fine. They're not terrible or anything. You know what I mean? They're
They're
fine.
like Timo, Bo, and Luke.
Yeah, it's true.
Timu, Bo, and Luke. That's what it
It's
is.
true. But
So,
don't you feel like, I mean, okay, you got to have Wopat and John Snyder back in the show, but just let Coy and Vance have the animated series. You know what I mean? They already lost their main
true.
job. Just,
Yeah.
I mean, anyway. So yeah,
That's a
Coy and
good point. I
Vance are
don't
there
think it
for
would
the
have been
whole
any
first
better,
season. Yeah,
right? Do you
no,
think it would have been better
no.
if it was Ben Luke? Yeah, like I don't.
The problem with
Yeah.
this episode was not Coy and Vance. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I know.
The problems are myriad, but it's
There's
not
a lot of
not,
yeah.
not Coy and Vance. Okay, here's our Star Wars episode. So, legendary voice actor Frank Welker, who, if you've ever seen a cartoon, you've heard Frank Welker do something. He voices Smokey, Flash, and the General Lee when the car is doing some, sound effects and stuff. Aside from voicing Fred Jones and Scooby-Doo, he's had several Star Wars roles, most notably as Sheliday in Star Wars Resistance. So hats off, Mr. Frank Welker. I want to know, what is your history with the Dukes of Hazzard?
So I didn't watch it as a kid. I did watch it in college, though, a lot. I think it was before we were living together.
Yeah.
I was in one of the townhouses, and I guess it was my junior year. I lived like my roommate described it as you live like a dog. You eat when you're hungry. You are awake when you are okay, or when you're awake. And then when you feel tired, you just go to bed. It does not matter what time it was. If it was 2 a.m. and I'm like, I'm going to go to bed, and I went to bed, and then I woke up at 11, and then maybe the next night I would go to bed. That night I would go to bed at 10. And I just went to bed when I was tired, and I did stuff, and it didn't matter. So I found all kinds of good television on at like the 1 a.m. to like 3 a.m. time slot. And it was like Dukes of Hazzard, Quantum Leap. There was like all kinds of stuff that was on there during that time.
Yeah.
And so I didn't watch it linearly. It was like different shows at different times, different episodes. But that was basically like that stuff was on at like 3, 4 in the morning. They were showing that. So that was my all in college. I did that.
Okay. No, I think that we did watch some Dukes of Hazzard together because I remember
We probably did together too.
when we
Yeah.
were rooming in the cabin. You know, we had that little shelf and it had all the
Oh
DVDs on it,
yeah.
and there was Dukes of Hazzard on there. I think we watched some Coy and Vance
I
episodes together.
think you're right.
I think we did.
I
Yeah,
think we did because I recognized them right away, and I was like, "Oh yeah, Coy and Vance," and I was like, "Wait a
yeah,
minute,
yeah.
I was like, "Wait a minute,
I think we
how did I
did.
recognize that?" Yeah, because I was like, "That's not
Yeah.
Bo and Luke," you know.
Right.
So
I had because that I think I picked that season up. Remember when GameStop used to have used DVDs and they'd all have all sorts of TV shows and they would always be really cheap.
yep.
So I remember picking up some Dukes of Hazzard and it was some Coy and Vance era. So I do think we watched it together.
Yeah.
Prior to that, I was always aware of it. I mean, I've always known that
Oh, yeah.
that Waylon Jennings theme song, and I of course just like seeing bits and pieces on TV. And I mean, I still love Smokey and the Bandit. And when I was a
Oh,
kid, you know,
yeah.
Burt Reynolds, Sally Field, Smokey the Bandit, and I would sort of conflate them in my head. You know, I'd get them confused for each other because there's a lot of
Yep.
similarities. You know, Boss Hogg here, but you know, then you have like what's his name? Not Jackie Cooper. What is it? It's like from the
Sheriff.
Honeymooners.
Oh,
Jackie Gleason. Jackie Gleason.
Gleason. That's it.
Yeah.
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 It's funny that you mentioned Smoking the Bandit because it is like if you're young, you get the two mixed up. You like meld the movies together,
Right. Exactly.
you know, or the show and the movie, and you're just like, oh, whoa, what? You know, like
the
yeah.
relationships are very similar, and
It
you
was
know
so
the Buford T.
popular, that
Justice character.
style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really was. And so it does make sense to do that, like an animated
Mhm.
series, because it's so much like with Cars and stuff. Like you know, it seems like kind of a
Yeah.
no-brainer. And I felt while watching this, I guess we're getting ahead of ourselves, but I have to say, I thought a
Yeah.
lot about the Karate Kid show and how it was just like, just do the Karate Kid. And I feel like the
Yes.
same is true with this. Like, just do the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
I almost crossed paths with Tom Wopat like multiple times because I used to do professional theater quite a lot, and
Yeah.
one of the theaters I worked in, the Barn Theater in Augusta, Michigan, Tom Wopat had done shows there early in his career, and so he would regularly come back and would do a special run of something. And I did Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat there, and he was going to come and do like Annie Get Your Gun or something, and then like it didn't quite work out, so we never actually, like, I never got to meet him. We never actually got to work together. And then at another theater when I did a long run of South Pacific, and Tom Wopat had played the Emile DeBeck character. I don't know if it was on Broadway, but in like the national tours and stuff. And the woman who played Nellie Forbush in that played Nellie in our production. So she knew Tom, and, it kind of seemed like when he was around, he was going to come like see our show and stuff. So, it never actually happened, but I came close to like being in a play or at least meeting Tom Wopat, and it never actually happened. And we missed him in this episode. So,
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So it's funny. I actually have a Tom Wopat story.
Let's do it.
My wife and I were working through Home Improvement, and there was this one episode where like this guy like kind of hits on Jill, and she's like, "Oh, I'm married," and the funny aspect of it is like she has dreams about him, and so like there's stuff going on in the episode. You're not sure if it's a dream or not, and it's funny. And the whole time I was like, she like meets him in the gym, and it's this guy, and I'm like, man, I have seen this guy before. I cannot figure out. I was like, oh, because like when you first see him, you like hear, because it's a live show. There's a live audience when they film it. You hear like somebody go like, woo.
Yeah.
Okay, I know he's famous now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where have I seen him? Where? And I was like, oh, it's Tom Wopat. And when you see somebody like that out of place, and you're like, wait, who is that?
Well, and they're so associated as a duo too. You know what I mean? Like you see one by himself.
Exactly.
It's,
yeah.
Do you remember when he showed up on Smallville? Because of course John Schneider's playing.
Schneider was on it. Yeah. I don't remember.
And Wopat showed up. Yeah, it's fun.
Who was he?
He is like an old friend of John Kent, who is, I think he's a senator. He's running for Senate. I can't remember. But he comes up in like a Charger, and the lock's broken, so he has to climb out the window like the Dukes of Hazzard did. So it was a lot of like fun playing the Dukes of Hazzard past.
That's funny.
Yeah. Well, take us into this episode. We gotta get to it.
Yeah. Let's go through it. All right. Uber detailed plot of episode 1. Put up your dukes. Uncle Jesse and Smokey pick up their story in Australia. The Dukes, this time, Coy and Vance and Daisy, are on a race around the world for the farm against County Commissioner Boss Hogg and Sheriff Roscoe P. Coltrane. I don't know why I said it like that. I just
I
felt
like
like
the
it. The
voice work.
Dukes.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right. The Dukes nearly have a disaster being stuck on the lift at the shop, but manage to get back on the road. They decide to take a small detour while in Australia to visit their cousin Willie and his kangaroo bouncing Benny. Boss Hogg overhears Daisy chatting on with Willie on the radio and is tempted by something Willie says concerning a fortune. Thinking about riches, Boss and the sheriff whip around to investigate. To discover bouncing Benny can jump rope and box like a boxer versus actual people.
Cool.
The commissioner thinks he could make a fortune on him. Daisy is skeptical if it's right to fight an animal, but Willie explains it's all just a show. Commissioner Hogg bursts in wanting to talk business, but is promptly rejected. Maddie's been snuffed. Commissioner Hogg has a sneaky plan to get his way. Sheriff Coltrane sabotages the General Lee while the commissioner sets up a trap and finds a massive opponent for Benny to bout with. Despite his opponent's size, Benny defeats him. After the fight, Benny is kidnapped. The Dukes try and get after the kidnappers, but are grounded because of a missing distributor cap. That sneaky sheriff. Boss Hogg and the sheriff drive off to, quote, find Benny. They know exactly where he is, but they're just playing. Benny nearly escapes when the commissioner and the sheriff show up to collect him, but are double-crossed by the kidnapper, and now Benny and the commissioner and the sheriff are nabbed. The kidnappers jet off in Boss's car, leaving him and the sheriff behind, tied up. The Dukes get the General Lee fixed and find the corrupt duo tied up. They bring them along. Benny escapes the kidnappers again and manages to hide in an abandoned mine. Hoping to find their cousin's kangaroo, the Dukes discover the mine and follow. The commissioner and the sheriff follow, hoping to find their potential fortune. Flash, the sheriff's dog, quickly finds Benny and helps him deal with the kidnappers. The sheriff shows up with a rope and a candle to help get the kidnap out of a ditch. The candle he got is actually a stick of dynamite. Benny acts quickly and tosses the dynamite in time for it to explode away from everyone. When the dust settles, however, everyone is accounted for but Benny. Everyone is distraught, thinking Benny was crushed under the rubble, but he pops up from a pile completely unscathed. The Dukes get back on the road in their race around the world while Boss Hogg and the sheriff have to get towed away. Uncle Jesse finishes his story to Smokey, giving him a gift from Benny, his very own poster of Cousin Bouncin' Benny. Roll credits.
I think maybe we just go and copy paste everything we said about Karate Kid.
Yes.
The Karate Kid animated series and just put it in right here because the premise is basically the same. They have an excuse to travel the world looking for something. Yep. You know what I mean? They have some MacGuffin that they have to go after. And everybody's along for the ride, and of course, like, trouble ensues. I feel like, again, this is something that, like, you could have maybe just Scooby-Doo'd. Like, every week, the Dukes get into some tussle, and they have to straighten it out, and you have a constant foil with Boss Hogg and Roscoe. Like, it seems like it's already baked in.
I agree. I want to start with what's the point of having the race?
I don't know.
Because it means nothing to the episode. And it got me thinking of, like, exactly what you said. All I thought was, this feels exactly like the Karate Kid episode. And why this episode first? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it sets nothing up. The whole race basically is talked about as like a monologue over the theme song at the beginning, basically. And so it's almost like it's important to the story, but not important enough to actually be a part of the story. So it's weird. And it's just like, it got me thinking of, like, Voyager, the show, makes sense. There's a continuing theme that they're trying to get home. So everything that happens is all part of the plan of getting home. Where this, it's the race, but the things that happen have nothing to do with a part of the actual race. It's all like, we're on a race, but let's go hang out with, Cousin Willie because we promised him we would.
Right.
And I'm just thinking, like, I don't know, you're kind of racing for the farm. Willie would be okay with you guys, like,
Yeah.
passing by so that you can
Yeah.
keep the farm. So it's just like weird to me that like that's in there. And you're right. It is completely unnecessary. They could have
Hmm.
totally left that out and it could just be part of the story. I don't maybe it's just an excuse to be around the world, right?
Yeah.
I think the second episode's like in South
But
Africa
why?
or
But
something like
why do
that.
you need
So
that? Like, why do you need to be around the world?
yeah.
That's the head scratcher to me. And I feel
Yeah.
like we're gonna be saying some of this stuff when we eventually get to the Back to the Future animated series, and it's like, I think the model for this is maybe what they did with Star Trek, the animated series, because they literally just kept making Star Trek, but in animated form. In some
Yes.
cases they were even using scripts that were written for the live action show and just kind of cutting them down and making them a
Adapted
little
them.
bit more
Yeah.
kid friendly. But that's why that animated series works so well from a Star Trek standpoint, because you watch it and you're still watching Star Trek. It's just animated.
Yeah.
So I just don't know why. I mean, okay, don't make the plots about like moonshine and gambling, I guess, but like you could still
Yeah.
basically tell the same sort of Dukes of Hazzard formula in an animated form, and that would
Yeah.
be fun
Yeah.
and engaging for kids. But there were not even any cool car things in this.
Nope.
Like you would
Not
think at
even
the
any cool car
very
thing.
least there'd be cool car chases and stuff like that, but it was hardly any. It was a lot more focus on anthropomorphic animals, which was puzzling to me.
Yeah. Actually, I think the only time in the episode when both cars were in the
Yeah.
same frame was parked.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think so.
it was when they were parked. Yeah, because the robbers had stolen Boss Hogg's car, and the Dukes followed up and to the mine and parked like right next to him,
Yeah.
basically. And it was like that was literally it. There was no chasing of
Yeah.
anybody. I had to like. I honestly actually didn't realize that was Sheriff Coltrane until he had gotten up on Boss Hogg's shoulder to look in through the window, and I was like, oh, he's got his uniform on. That actually is, and it was just like I just I didn't catch it. I just thought he was a driver.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was a bunch of stuff about it that were like in name only as the
Yeah.
Dukes, but it just didn't feel like the Dukes of Hazzard at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, did they sit there and they were like, you know what, Dukes of Hazzard is awesome. Let's make a Dukes of Hazzard show that is nothing like
Yeah.
the Dukes of Hazzard show. Just like
Yeah.
they sat down and were like, oh man, Karate Kid is amazing. Let's make an animated series called The Karate Kid
Yeah.
that is absolutely nothing like The
Yeah.
Karate Kid. We'll
Right.
do it better. Like
Yeah.
whatever made Karate Kid great, we're going to do everything opposite.
Yeah.
And this was just like, you kind of want to do like your good episodes first, right? You kind of
Yeah.
want to have it go in waves and stuff. And this was like, man.
Well, I think that's what happens when, maybe this is the case of them sort of trying to be all things to all people, because it's like failing at both. I think that's the bottom line, because
It failed at
it's
both.
not really a fun kids show. And I think if you're approaching this as we were, as like, yeah, Dukes of Hazzard, let's do it. It is also not a Dukes of Hazzard cartoon. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's not fun for kids and it's not fun for Dukes of Hazzard fans. So, I mean, I guess that's why these things are not lasting, 20 episodes over the course of 2 seasons. I mean, that sort of makes
Yeah.
sense, but it's just a little crazy to me when it's like, Hanna-Barbera is making this show and they are like royalty when it comes to making shows like this. And even something, goofy like Fred and Barney Meet the Thing. I mean, that was still fun. Like it was stupid, but it was still fun. Like we were talking in that episode a lot about the sounds and the music and the visuals and things. This just didn't have any of that. So
yeah,
I
feel like I always complain about modern stuff, like like Disney, like ruining IP, and it's just like, here they were doing it way back in '83, like completely destroying an IP. Like, nothing's changed. I just didn't realize it back then, just how bad it was.
Well,
and so it's just funny.
I think
crazy.
Referring to it as IP is definitely the way to
totally
go,
IP.
because that is what they're doing. They're just like, well, look, we own the Dukes of Hazzard property. We got these people on contract. Let's just do it. And so it ends up feeling like a byproduct rather than let's make something.
There's not even any lore to mess up.
I know.
There's literally no lore. And it's just like they didn't even start in Hazzard County.
I know.
Something recognizable.
I know. They're making their way the only way they know how, I guess, is the bottom line. I wonder if the second... No. I was gonna say maybe the second season with the guys back, like maybe it works a little bit better, but no, it seems to be the same
Yeah, and it's 7
premise
episodes or
for the
something
most
like
part.
that,
Yeah,
right? I saw that, yeah.
yeah,
So it just didn't last. They just whatever it was, they tried to make it work, I guess, or they just
yeah,
gave up on 7 episodes and let the show run till it died.
yeah,
This IP is so promising because at the time, it's a super popular show that's
yeah,
literally just it's just fun. It's just stupid fun. And that's
yeah.
all they had to do was just have stupid fun and like I just yeah, it was really tough to find any bit of Dukes of Hazzard besides their names and
And the thing
voices.
is, it writes itself. Cool
It
car,
does.
rabble rousing characters,
Yeah.
bad guy. That's it. You don't need
Yeah.
to add this like Phileas Fogg around the world in 80 days kind of nonsense to it.
Yeah. Someone's
Just
stealing
roll
all the
with it.
cattle in town. Well,
Yeah.
the Dukes are gonna figure it out. Just little
Yeah.
dumb things like that. Like a kid will
Yep.
understand that. Oh, somebody's
Yep.
stealing all the cattle. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Like just it doesn't have to be in Australia. These kids are probably like, "What? Australia? What?" I don't
I
know.
just, honestly, I guess we're moving into my Oak of Arc moment. Are you ready to get there?
Yeah, yeah, I
All
think
right.
so.
So for me, I'm watching this, and I started, I was taking notes as I normally do, and I really didn't get too many written down, but I just was kind of watching this and like looking down for a minute, and I look up, and on the screen is a kangaroo in a boxing outfit punching some guy, and I'm just like, this is the Dukes of Hazzard cartoon.
Yeah.
This is what's happening right now. So that was it for me. I mean, that was sort of the shark jumping moment, which is happening in the pilot episode. You have the Dukes of Hazzard, fixing a fight with a kangaroo boxer,
Yeah.
and I just thought this is stupid. I mean, this is really stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought all that was bad, and what a downgrade in theme song. Also,
Oh yeah, holy crap.
I
That
mean, geez.
I had to rewind it twice to listen to that because it was also like important stuff said at the
Right.
beginning too. And
Right. Yeah.
I was like, what the heck? Oh
Yeah.
man.
I think that's the most iconic thing about the Dukes
Yeah.
of Hazzard. I mean, you have the image of the General Lee kind of like getting air, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then the theme song. It's such a great theme song. And
Well,
this, yeah, really was just like do going on a race.
yeah, from the
Boo.
start I was like, I don't with the whole like voiceover and Uncle Jesse and Smokey, are kind of talk. He's like a voiceover, so I was like, is he like telling a story of
Right.
something that happened, or is he narrating something that is happening? And
Right.
then at the end, it kind of bookends it with like, Uncle Jesse again with Smokey, and they were like, look, they sent you a thing. So it's like, okay, so I guess he was telling a story because it already happened. And so I
Right.
was like, like just literally every aspect, every plot they opened closed really poorly.
Yeah.
Even Boss Hogg, they tried to like make him out to be the bad guy, and he really wasn't even the bad guy in the very I mean, I guess he kind of was because he hired the henchman, but then like the henchman kidnapped him. So there was no clear like everyone was like, "Oh, it's their fault." And then you realize that when they're kind of standing over the in the mine and the kidnappers are in the
Yeah.
hole and they're like Daisy Duke's like, "Oh, you saved, you did it." And he's kind of like, "Oh, like yeah, yeah, I did." And you realize like he was just negotiating with the guys,
Yep.
but she
Yep.
thought he put him in there. And so like,
Right.
even that like that didn't actually close it because we were still under the impression that he was good, and then at the very end they're like being towed away as like the bad guys, and I was like, but so I don't know, just every aspect of it, all I was thinking of the whole time was this was the best they could do for episode 1, and my Oak of Arc is literally just you chose this episode.
Yeah.
This is this is a filler episode that should have happened like 9 episodes in just for fun.
Yep.
Because we ran out of good stories, and you were like, we could put this in here, and the kids will have fun. It's a kangaroo, and it's funny. But like, like the aspect of like he kept saying like we're gonna make 1,000,000, and I'm thinking what? Like, I don't know how you make 1,000,000 off of a boxing
Yeah, I don't
kangaroo. Like,
I'm not
just
sure.
every aspect of it, I was just like, man, maybe I guess an 8-year-old will believe it, but like it just was because it's not made for me. It's not made for my age. But I just felt like, geez, like, is this interesting? I wish I watched it with my kids to see if they were like, did you really like that? I
I don't
bet you
think that would have helped.
my
I really
youngest
don't.
probably would have been like, yeah, that was fun, and my oldest would have been like, nah, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's just like there was just nothing that was when you talk about like something's all dessert. There was like no meat and potatoes to it. It
Right.
was just all
Yeah.
dessert. This was all just like a plate. It
Hmm.
was empty plate. We got an empty plate, and
Yep.
that like, oh man, it fell short in every single way. It didn't even have Dukes in it enough, which
Yeah.
I thought was crazy. It was
Yeah.
really all about the kangaroo and Boss Hogg and Sheriff Coltrane.
I mean, I guess the best case scenario, we've been talking about this show and like joking about this show for
Yeah.
years at this point, and now we've seen it. We can cross it off the list. It was a learning experience.
I feel personally insulted. It's like it's almost like this was the best they could do,
I know.
and
Yeah.
it's so disappointing.
Yep.
And it is funny. It is still blowing my mind that like yeah, it's not a new thing for companies to completely implode an IP,
It's
and this
true.
did it. I mean, like, what was there?
Yeah.
A Dukes of Hazzard after this? Oh, and wait, there was a
I think the
show, right?
show the show is still going. Yeah.
The show was
Yep.
still going. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then wasn't there a remake in like the late '90s or early
There's a
2000s or
couple things.
something
I
like
think
that?
there was like a Dukes of Hazzard TV movie reunion, and then there was
Oh, okay.
like the Johnny Knoxville Dukes of Hazzard.
Yes, the
So,
Johnny. That was a movie, though, right? That was
yeah,
the
it was a
movie.
movie. Yeah, but
Yeah,
but the show still had a couple seasons, I think, in
even
it
that
when
was like a
when going with.
husk of the original. I mean, they still tried to make
Yeah,
it. I mean, it was still Dukes of Hazzard
I don't
esque.
think they ever really got the ground under them again
Yes.
once Wopat and Snyder were gone for that season. I
Oh,
don't think that,
totally. Yeah.
you know, even when they came back, people were kind of like, we're still doing this? All right. But yeah, the show lasted until 1985, the live action.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah,
85. Okay. All right.
85.
It's crazy. I'm glad this show didn't kill it, right? You'd think like,
Yeah.
releasing this show as bad as it is would be like, oh crap, like we're
Yep.
literally going to bring everything down.
Yeah.
And no, like I'm glad it didn't, but yeah, like what? Just wow.
Yep.
I mean, the whole time I didn't check the time at all, which was stunning to me
Okay. That's
because
something.
I was just like, holy crap, it's about to get better. It's about
Yeah.
to get better. And then it just never got better. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
So what about good? Hit me with something good because I'm just negative Nancy.
This is a stretch. I mean, watching it, I was like, what am I going to do? But I will say, I thought that Catherine Bach, as Daisy Duke,
Mm,
was good as a voice actress. I
yes.
mean, it's her. It sounds like her. She's comfortable in the role and everything. But I felt like she was kind of modulating it to be in a cartoon, to be in a kid show, and I just thought she had a really good voice for it. And I thought they didn't give her much to do, but she was good with what she had.
Yeah. I think the voices were pretty good. At least I was like, oh, I'll take that.
Yeah,
They didn't find like somebody completely different to voice, every character that
yeah,
like
it was.
really didn't fit. Like really didn't feel that's important.
Yeah,
That was my not Okavar,
Ichiwawa.
Ichiwawa. The voices. At least I could
Okay.
hang on that and be like,
Yep.
that's good. They did a
Yep.
good job of that by doing
Yep.
that. The show was so bad. Really, the only pull are the people voicing the
It's
characters.
true. I mean, and it is cool that they got everybody to do it. That they at least put some effort into it. It just too bad it was not a great show.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for what it's worth, this is the final, like Byron Cherry and Christopher Mayer as Coy and Vance Duke. They stopped in live action. Their last episode was in February of '83, and their final appearance in the animated series was April of '83. So they did hang on, probably
Oh
because
yeah.
probably because they had more episodes recorded in the can already. But yeah, this was the final appearance of Coy and Vance. You
Interesting.
never saw them. I don't think they were referenced again after that.
No way.
Yeah.
Interesting how that worked out.
So long, Coy and Vance.
Yeah, just they were in and out like we're just hanging around, sleeping on the couch for a few months, and that's it.
Aren't you glad that we didn't go all in and decide to just do all the episodes of the Dukes?
Dude, I am so glad.
I think you saved us from that.
Did I?
Because I was like, we should just pick another show, and you were like, what if we bounced around a little bit? And you saved us a lot of heartache.
I'm glad we did. Yeah, I mean, if we're watching a few episodes here or there of a show, I think I probably said like, oh yeah, we should probably watch like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not convinced. I don't think 3 or 4 episodes of this style would do it for me. It really wouldn't. I think I'd really struggle.
I don't know that I would ever watch this again. I know there's like Christmas episodes and stuff, so maybe some Christmas it might be fun to pick up one of the season 2 episodes with Bo and Luke and just see. Maybe they shook this weird premise. Maybe Bo and Luke being back, add some magic to it. But I don't know. What I do know is next time we're going to be back in the Star Wars world. We're following the Lego chronology. Ooh. And so we're jumping over chronologically to Lego All-Stars for the episodes The Chase with Han and Escape with Chewbacca.
I can't wait for that. That'll be fun.
I know, it'll be exciting.
Something with Han and Chewbacca. I feel like we haven't had anything about them besides the Ian being Han.
Yeah, that was fun though. That was fun.
Yeah.
Hey, and happy birthday. This is your birthday episode. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
Many happy returns.
I am no longer a wee boy.
No.
I'm an old man.
Yep.
Old man.
Yep.
That's right.
Heading to middle age.
Yes.
With style.
Just crashing right through it. Yep.
With I would say like the Dukes of Hazzard, but there was no crashing in this episode, so I don't know.
It's true. It's true. Really disappointing.
I know.
When they're driving the cars and they're like, "Oh, look, a mine," and I was like, "No,
yeah,
why get out of the car? Do something in the car."
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, you're making a lot of sense.
All right. Well, I'll see you next time.
All right.
This Enduring Life was brought to you by the Radio Meanwhile Network. Be sure to check out some of the other shows on the network, including Previously on X-Men and 9021 Here We Go. Please rate, subscribe, and share these shows wherever you get your podcasts.